Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Boxing New.
David Benavidez versus Terence Crawford makes no sense at 160. And look, let's break it down honestly and objectively as possible. And David Benavidez has done a recent interview where he stated that the Terence Bud Crawford fight was offered to him. He'd love to share the ring with Terence Crawford, but not at 160 pounds. That's not a weight that David Benavidez can make. Obviously, early in his career, he was fighting at cruiserweight. Most recently, he's been fighting at 168. And now he's actually just moved up to 175. So to offer him a fight at 160 shows you're not really serious about a David Benavidez fight. If Terence Crawford and the Turk was serious about making a David Benavidez fight, it should at least be at 168 pounds. That's a fight that obviously David Benavidez would love. He's spoken highly of Terence Crawford before and said he'd be open to that fight at 168. So if Terence Crawford truly wants to fight David Benavidez, you have to go to 168. You don't get credit for fighting David Benavidez at 160, a drained shell version of himself. Think about this. This is the same Terence Crawford who said he'd fight Canelo Alvarez at 168. He said he'd move up to 168 and challenge him for the undisputed championship at 168. So if you're willing to fight Canelo at 168 for the undisputed championship, then you should be able to welcome any and every comer. Now, obviously, anybody that have a problem with this is a Bud Crawford fanboy. And unfortunately, in boxing, you got guys giving one guy a pass and not holding everybody to the same standard. But if we keep in the same energy and if we look at it the same way, if you truly want to fight Benavidez, it has to be at least 168 pounds, or you should never mention Canelo's name at 168 pounds. When people say, well, you know, Canelo's a different size, Benavidez a different size, literally, if you want to fight for that crown, you need to fight at that weight. And if you're going to line up a fight with Canelo based off of a Benavidez win, you definitely need to fight him at 168. There's no excuse for fighting anybody at 160 that campaigns at another weight.